Good evening, TheoTrade. This is Corey Rosenblumen. You're watching the Theo Nightly video for the 10th of December here in 2020. We're going to start this video off with LULU, which just had earnings. They reported $1.16 per share of earnings. We can always jump inside this. And if you're new to thinkorswim or trading in general, the thinkorswim platform has a market watch tool. And so in here we can look at the calendar. If you're ever curious about which stocks are reporting earnings, right? We can talk about earnings or splits or economic events. And we're going to talk about Friday, of course, going forward. And you can see the stocks, etc. Other kind of things about dividend, right? Which stocks have dividends, so on and so forth. But on the Analyze tab, we go over here to fundamentals. We can look at the stocks itself. So here's a LULU just for a moment. You can actually take a look at what the analysts say, what the company talks about, what it does. If you're having a scan, something comes up on a scan that you're looking at, but you don't quite know what those 4 or 3 letters are of the stock or the company does, you can take a look inside and get a quick little update. But also talk about somewhere, there we are, what drives the stock, the earnings, and any other information you might want in fundamentals. But we have this, we have the earnings tab. And so what we're looking at here's the third quarter earnings just got released. The actual is a little bit above the Wall Street estimate. So that was a whirlwind tour around, I know. But that is where we are with LULU. All that being said, and by the way, if you are curious, you can go even deeper in the platform. You can take a look at the trade flash or just news. So if you ever are curious and just want to know what they said. So LULU, it talks about the press release, their earnings. I won't go through that necessarily, but it is all in here. So that's the key point of view. We also take a look at Airbnb, DoorDash, Starbucks, other stocks in play. Just getting some ideas for some candidates to go on. All that being said, to find out that LULU is about where it closed. So with that better than expected earnings release, we can dig inside the point of view and dig inside where the numbers are in the analyst. All I'm going to say is the following. We had an expected move and an earnings play with Don's expected move earnings logic and indicator that took it to about 400 per share on the upside, or about 335, 336, 7, 8 on the downside. Now I'm doing this video after the close, but we are at 368. And that's about where LULU closed right before the earnings zapped to the upside, zapped to the downside, back and forth. Now, come Friday morning, you may have a better knowledge, you will have a better knowledge actually, of where the stock is opening. And that could be very well different where it is right now, about 30 minutes after the close. So that's the first thing we'll talk about. And other stocks in play too. By the way, Starbucks, that was one that was a big mover today. And there is its new all-time highs. Let me double check. And that is indeed barely, but it did clear new all-time highs for Starbucks. And on the weekly chart, how far back that goes. And of course the daily chart, I do the daily on the left, the hourly on the right. That's kind of more short-term swing trades. And this is maybe longer-term duration trades. Starbucks has been one of those stocks on the list, that's I'll show in a minute, that is stronger and expected to keep getting stronger. And it just continues to make new 52-week highs, which is the scan, and all-time highs. And that which is strong does tend to get stronger. And the trades are pullback retracements or flags. What about the broader market? Well, it's grossly overbought, overextended. And in Tuesday's video, I talked about the stairs or the escalator to the upside and the elevator to the downside. And that occurred on Wednesday, so the day after the video. And today was more chop. Now that's the key question. Is that the top of the market? Most likely not. It most likely is a typical pullback or retracement in the ongoing bullish holiday drift. But we have to put the trades on and manage what we have against this broader picture. In the Nasdaq, it as well has fallen or retraced, as was logical, to this 12,250 or 12,225. And that's roughly the 20-day moving average. The Dow Jones is also pulling back slightly, but the Russell continues to get stronger. There's actually more trend up today than the Dow and the S&P, which are more range or choppy in today's session. Outside of those, crude oil made a boost to the upside, breaking up to not new all-time highs by any means, but is a bullish break above this 43, 44, and then 46 per share level. Gold itself had a consolidation day. So that's where the bigger picture, and bonds, we don't want to forget bonds. This is the TLT fund. It's playing off 155, the ZN, which is your 10-year note, about 137, and ZB, which is the bonds themselves, 30-year U.S. Treasury bonds. Well, that's playing off the 171. So these are levels to watch, clearly to watch. V-spike power reversal in May, and then some support bounces earlier in October, and here we are in November. So strength in the equity market is putting pressure on the bond market, not to mention the Federal Reserve. And those are kind of the plays and the dollar. Right, this is our dollar index. It's not tradable. It's an index, and it's making new, just coming off actually, of new 2020 lows. And that's your Fed, that's your inflation, that's your stimulus, and all the things that are weakening the dollar to create inflation, or at least boost the prices of equities and other commodities in general. That includes crude oil. So that's a broad picture. In today's session, it was energy that led the way. Some of the top names include Occidental, Chevron Texaco, ConocoPhillips, ExxonMobil, and others that were inside of the energy sector. And that was a 3% gainer right there with crude oil, which is about 3% as well. So that is where we are looking. On a quick note, our monsters of tech, we used to call it the FANG stocks, but monsters of tech, which does now include Tesla. So in this list, be sure to add Tesla and Apple. And that's just going inside of the large cap market stock, large cap stocks in the market that are in play. So everything but Google is in a sideways consolidation, more like a triangle. And that's interesting going at the end of the year, as Google shares do trade into this 1,800 per share level. And these tech names we think are leading the market up, but they are not making new all-time highs. And in fact, they're beneath all of them except Google. And we can also talk about Apple. Let's shift Netflix for Apple. See, it's also in that same type of consolidation. And if we're really curious, Tesla is its own sort of monster stock. It's becoming one at least, but it's sort of like Google, except much stronger in the uptrend. So that's your quick view of the large market cap names. As we keep pushing through December, there is just a general bullish holiday drift to it. Don't forget the profile, which is our probability of this yellow spot becoming resistance, which it did this week, and the lower spot becoming support, which it is or has at this point. That is true in the S&P, true in the Nasdaq, and the Dow, which is right in the middle of it. But that's not the case in the Russell as it keeps getting stronger. So always be careful, always be safe, guard your positions, hedge as necessary. Understand that the market drifts higher, but the rug gets pulled in, that elevator falls, and that may not come until a little bit later. This is that end of year holiday period. Just keeps us safe and not over leveraged or over capitalized in either direction. Always be careful and safe. This is Corey Rosenblum with tonight's Theo video update for December 10th, 2020.